Welcome, my friend, to the freezing and equally compassionate darkness of the night, finding yourself in all this absoluteness, to the Sleepless Monologues channel. Tonight, we are in a night where we step away from the relentless, deafening noise of the world we live in, away from the desire to solve everything and constantly control things. We are stepping away from the exhausting lights of the city, from the blueness of the screen reflecting in our eyes every minute, and from the never-ending rushes. It is time to journey to other places. We are stepping away from that consciousness inside your inner world that talks non-stop, telling you that you constantly need to seek solutions to things and making it its duty to fight with you. We are stepping away from the anxieties of what tomorrow will bring. That to-do list during the day is no longer your concern. You will bear witness to a night where you leave the things expected of you outside the door. For more videos like this to come, you can subscribe to the channel, like the video, and comment about what you felt in the video. Your memory is now ready to stay only in the moment it is in, for a great inertia and a sleep full of dreams. Now realize that you have no rush. Let your body make contact with the compassionate surface of this bed. Leave the troubles you burdened yourself with due to the responsibilities and anxieties you took on your shoulders during the day to gravity from the edge of your bed. You can now focus on slowly untying your jaw, your shoulder, and everything that has turned stiff in your body, leaving the war within yourself aside and living the moment. I want you to take a calm, deep breath through your nose, and you can slowly let that breath out through your lips. And with every breath you take and give, you can be wrapped in your bed with a little more trust. Shortly, I will count backwards from 5. Every time I say a number, I want you to step away from the room you are in and approach the peace of going to different places, and I want you to focus on being alone with yourself. 5. You are stepping away from that tiring, obsessive state of the outside world. 4. Your breath is regular now. Let your bed pull you inwards and wrap you with its merciful arms. 3. You are now far away from all those anxieties in your mind and the accounts you will give for tomorrow or the responsibilities. All of them are left outside the door for you. 2. You are now ready in your impregnable castle, in your own dream world. 1. You are completely relaxed, and you are ready now. Welcome to the absolute and unshakable sanctuary of Galilei, who is now tired of watching the sky. In his warm library, illuminated by the olive wood fire within those thick stone walls of Arcetri, in the merciless Italian winter of that century.
In the middle of the night, on a dark night of the 17th century, right in the middle of a merciless Italian winter, I am alone with myself. In the Arcetri hills, just outside Florence, in the study of this old, high-ceilinged, thick stone-walled villa, I am in the peace of sitting all alone in the midst of my absolute and unshakable solitude. Outside, there is a freezing, heavy, and rhythmic winter rain relentlessly beating the Tuscan hills, present in eternity, with a leaden color matching the sky right across from me and coming down from it. I am alone with this never-ending, ordinary, yet continuous rhythm of the raindrops against the thick leaded windows in the room where I stay against the cold surface of the glass. When I look out the windows, I can feel, even see, that beyond the pitch-black darkness lies only a freezing universe. This immense, terrifying void that I have watched tirelessly for years, which has no end, and which proves to me every time I look how small the entity called human is. When I look at the sky, what I feel is this: the cold, merciless distance of the stars and distant planets seems to merge with the rain outside and meet these hills. However, the fact is that while I feel the warmth so much in this house famous for its thick walls, beating the glass of my window outside, this cold will not reach me in any way. Therefore, the storm and wind coming from outside almost turn into a lullaby for me that numbs my inside. And as I look outside, no matter how vast and frightening it seems, this room I am in feels like a castle for me that absolutely does not allow the cold outside to pass. An unshakable castle behind these massive oak doors. And this protects me incredibly. And I can feel this coldness of the outside and the warmth of the inside make it feel like a bridge between two worlds. And this feeling of safety grows a little more at this time when minutes chase each other, allowing me to feel the ambience a little more. I look with admiration at the olive logs burning, as if it were their only duty for hours at this time, when I sit across my fireplace in my room. They are heavy, and with a slow, sweet crackle, the light and heat they emit unite the room with a compassionate warmth, sending a piece of themselves to every single point of the room. And even though midnight blue represents darkness, I can sit safely thanks to this light that can capture this darkness here. And as minutes chase each other, these drying woods slowly go up from my feet and add a sweet and narcotic comfort to my whole body. The small, rhythmic, and hypnotizing crackles made by these olive logs in the fireplace meet the softness of the fire and almost become a breath of the heat, and each one seems to pass the baton so that the other can burn more after completing its duty. And they seem to constantly tell me how safe I am here, in defiance of the gloom of the sky outside. The peace of the moment feels like a friend, drawing me closer to itself every second. As a result of my work over the years, I realize that the truth I sought with those cold brass lenses actually passes through living the moment by a fireplace, resisting the cold outside, feeling the safety here, and experiencing peace all alone as the fire in the fireplace burns. The sweet, familiar, and comforting smell of these olive logs integrates a little more with me, helping me step away from the exhausting calculations that constantly disturb me in the orbits of my mind. And they almost evaporate and have to go to places far away from me. Meanwhile, I settle a little more into my armchair and let the heat meet me a little more. as the golden yellow light reflecting from the fireplace meets like a compassionate hand on my face, I can experience the peace a little more with my blanket. I strive only to experience this peace of absolute inertia in this moment, to stay in the moment and feel the peace a little more. Hours chase each other. The armchair I sit on endures the fatigue of the years just like me, and seems to want me to integrate with it. And I do not leave this call unanswered. My body gets a little closer to the peace of this armchair and without showing any resistance, causes me to approach a little more like a bed. Although the cold outside cannot reach my room, I grip my blanket, which I take on my shoulders and wraps my whole body a little more to feel it a little more. The natural texture of this blanket seals me a little more to where I am and only admonishes me a little more to take time for myself in the peace of inertia. I feel as if a blanket is a friend reminding me how peaceful is to be inert and stay in the moment. And while living the moment with this blanket and my armchair, I step away from my upright, stubborn, and exhausting scientist identity that I am during the day, and I can be a human being just as I am. Right now, I am not a person who has to deal with the mathematics in the sky, nor am I obliged to make interpretations of star maps. I am currently just an old man protected from the cold outside in a safe room, trying to feel the warmth while drawing the scent of every moment a little more into me in this calm, peaceful, and warm environment of the room. My slowly tiring eyes gently slide toward the bottom of my feet. My loyal companion, feeling that warmth coming from the fireplace, is experiencing the taste of the moment just like me. My beautiful cat. I look at her. She has adapted so beautifully to this warmth and feels so safe. Her vulnerable and deep state of inertia adds so much to the peace of the silence of the room, and makes me so peaceful that my happiness begins to double. The golden yellow light of the fire dances on her smooth fur, so to speak, and with her rib cage, she feels the moment so peacefully, rising and falling in such an orderly way that this is something that can only be understood by seeing it. As I look at her and see that she feels this peace, I realize a little more what a luxury it is to enjoy this moment. The fatigue brought by the years and the rush of constantly searching for new things caused by my efforts and work slowly steps away from me now. In the silence of this night, I realize, albeit with difficulty, how tired I am of constantly watching the sky, of turning the rotations of Jupiter's moons into a mathematical calculation, a never-ending stubbornness with the church, seeking a solution to the never-ending ignorance of people. I realize once again what an exhausting and perhaps even arrogant behavior pattern it is. Even if I, as a human being, could change the center of the universe, I know that in the calmness of the night, I will not be able to resist sleep too much. As I look at these olive logs in the fireplace, the arrogance of this desire to know and learn everything on my shoulders, and desire to understand and prove everything melt away like pieces of wood in this light. At this hour of the night, it is no longer necessary to think about the orbits in the sky, to get lost in the cold and merciless depths of the universe. I know there is nothing that requires me to get lost in the cycle of the universe for tonight, and even this gives me incredible peace. The peace brought by not having to prove myself to anyone combines with the effect of the cold outside and the heat inside upon each other, helping me find a peace that I had deprived myself of so much. The night chases itself a little more. As the hours advance, the details in the emptiness of my room catch my eye a little more. When I look at these dark shadows, my massive brass astrolabe and the century-old wooden clock right next to it, which I have used for years to measure the height of the stars, the chasing of time, and the flawless route of those celestial bodies, catch my eye. Previously, or at different times of the day, I saw every movement of those brass gears as a secret code of the universe, and I thought I could trap time in papers and calculate it millimeter by millimeter, and I strove for this. But the only mechanical sound I feel at this hour of the night is my pendulum clock and this regular state of movement of my brass mechanism, and this continuity echoes like a lullaby in my room from a certain point onwards. Tick-tock. These two syllables pull from the century-old thick stone walls of my room and catch a monotonous rhythm, with the storm combining with the rain outside, and perfectly unite with the crackle of the olive logs right across from me. I feel it, the beating of the rain against the glass, the breathing of the fire, and the deep strokes of the brass mechanism. All of them enter into a harmony with each other in the air, completely locking my mind, paralyzing thoughts within themselves, distancing them from me, uniting the person with the momentary state they are in, and turning into a natural and perfect metronome. While this massive, frightening hum of the outside world gives one goosebumps, forming a metronome with this warmth inside slows down after a certain process and mixes into the silence of the night. My mind, which never knows how to stay quiet, examining every movement of the sky, believing there are no limits to the universe, and trying to decode them, lacking no noise, slowly melts among these tick-tock sounds, raindrops, and crackles. I think about it. Over the years I have worked so hard to prove the silent rotation of Jupiter's moons to the sky, to this bottomless well, that is the universe, to understand time, that I did not even realize how exhausting, consuming, and arrogant a behavior this is, especially when people are not ready for it. Now, within this amber-colored light, focusing on the tick-tocks, that divide the night every second, I feel once again what a meaningless burden the urge to know and prove everything is. The route of the stars and planets will continue to do their duties and maintain the order of the universe, even if I never think about calculating them, and I cannot stop time or completely solve the secrets of the universe all by myself. After accepting this truth as it is, I feel the weight crashing on my rib cage is now moving away from me. As I said, I don't have to prove anything anymore. I don't have to draw any orbit and make things meaningful. Especially not having to face people's ignorance anymore. I only want to focus on the moment and let my mind live within its own frame in this silence. Feeling every second of the unties the tension in my mind a little more. The weight brought by the centuries on my shoulders seems to pull back a little more. The stiff knot in my neck is now completely loosened, and I sink a little more into my armchair. My breath is now out of the room, just like everything in the room instantly adapting to each other. It also focuses on this room, on me, on time, on the moment, and doesn't want anything anymore. I am in the comfort of not having to think about anything, of peacefully submitting to gravity, to that merciful flow of time. What a great heaven, and what a great pleasure this is. As the hours of the night chase each other a little more, I feel myself a little more in the compassionate depths of this old carved velvet armchair. And this armchair here feels a bit more rapid. Even this gives me a justifiable reason to feel safer and feel the purity of the night a little more. Against this cold of the outside, the mercy of this heat inside grows a little more. My body melts a little more into this armchair without showing resistance to the weight of gravity. The planetary orbits I constantly see in my mind are now in the form of small images. I take my hand out from under this warm blanket and examine the room with my tired eyes, and while doing this, I move so slowly, as if caught in the magic of the night, that I feel every moment as if it were a stage in a theatrical play. And as I lift my arm, I see every single muscle of mine meeting a little more with this warmth inside against the cold outside, and my tired eyes gently reach for the mug, still steaming, quietly claiming the light reflecting from the fire in the fireplace, resting on my desk that withstands the fatigue of the years. With my fingertips feeling the smooth outer surface of the ceramic, the outside is cold, but filled with hot water inside and prepared with herbs. When I take the mug in my hand, with every sip I meet this blessing of nature that warms my inside a little more. I feel its beauty in all my cells. I grasp the mug with the tips of these old and tired hands, trying to make sense of the whole universe. When I lift this piece of cup upwards, from this desk challenging the years in front of me, the faint sound that comes out the moment the ceramic slowly separates from the wood divides the night for a moment in this heavy, old, and soot-scented room of the library, and adds a little more meaning to the night with a deep sound. At that moment, the magnificence of that scent coming from inside the mug and the fireplace light illuminating the night suddenly unite and leave a different scent, a different taste to the night. While experiencing all this pleasure and slowly bringing the mug to my mouth, the smell of dried herbs goes on an extraordinary journey from my nose to my mind and numbs my mind a little more. While all this is happening, I close my eyes a little, become a partner to the moment, and take a sip of this herbal tea. And this piece of nature mixing with my body allows me to integrate with the night, reminding me to be thankful for the things I have and how lucky I am. As this extraordinary plant passes through my throat and begins to become one with my body, I realize that the flow of blood in my veins slows down, and I feel calmness in every atom of my body. This sweet numbness envelops my body. The thoughts that have been spinning inside my mind for years, like a constantly turning cog, seem to melt and slow down in the face of the piece of this tea. As I become whole with this warmth, I feel like I am finding a little more room for myself now, and finding another piece of myself in every corner of my room. This feeling allows my body to adapt more to the warmth and feel the night a little more. The fatigue stepping away from both the mind and the body, and this vitality in my palms allows me to adapt a little more to the rhythm of the room. I leave the mug slowly and calmly back to its place with the same serenity as I picked it up, and that sound that comes out when my cup meets the desk becomes like a seal regarding the peace of the night. Now I just stop and enjoy this dream that I can see while my eyes are open. As the minutes chase each other, the silence of the night begins to rule my body, and while nature offers me its beauties in a cup, as the smell of a room fills my lungs, my eyes catch the massive piles of parchment in the room. That amber-colored light of the fireplace, increasing as the hours pass, creates shadows on these papers. If it were daytime, dozens of fights would revolve within my mind over these papers. I would patiently try to draw the rough face of the moon, calculate the shapes of Jupiter's moons and itself millimeter by millimeter, banter, and do the never-ending mathematical calculations of this huge universe. Now, when it is this time of the night, these only seem to my eyes like faded stains that merely tired me, exhausted me during the day. I take my right hand out from under the wool blanket and reach for those things that confused my head so much during the day. As I touch these parchment pieces with my fingertips, I realize that they are tired just like me with the fatigue brought by wear and tear. And the numbers and drawings written on them seem, to my eyes, like a memory reminding me of the war within myself all day. Instead of looking at all the things written and drawn on it, I begin to grasp the paper by its edge with my fingers. Right at this moment, I realize that this light, dry sound, rustle, and dust that the thick parchments make. As the sound of rain and snow outside increases, the fire in the room stokes itself as well, and these sounds mix into each other a little more in the air. I think about it, trying to trap all these difficulties, calculations of the huge universe onto a piece of paper. How consuming, forcing, even a bit arrogant it was. I think about it while it takes writing for pages, even to make sense of the sound of the wind and this fire inside, adding the mathematics of the huge universe into a few pages was perhaps a very spoiled act. While folding these parchments, I fold them millimeter by millimeter with great care, because I am the one who will deal with them again tomorrow. Just like the parchments, the worn leather string that holds these pieces of paper together defies the years. I slowly, gently tie the parchments together holding them with the leather string. Tomorrow, these pieces of paper will again act as a bridge for me in the search for the meaning of the universe. After I am done, I leave them in a corner of the desk with these parchment papers. They too can rest tonight, just like me, and prepare themselves for tomorrow. Knowing that even if we do not discover them, all this universe, as such a small piece, will complete their existential processes. In the same way gives me incredible peace, and I feel like a part of this universe, like playing place within this song. And being able to discover this feels like seeing a color that people have never seen before. The moment I realize this, even my breathing in and out changes, and a relentless peace envelops me. It considers it a duty to slow down the cogs of my mind a bit more, offer me a little space, and bring me closer to myself. As I enjoy the moment, it is as if I feel the meeting of an area in my brain that I have never seen before with me. It is as if the longer I stay here, the more I will discover new things belonging to myself. I bring myself a little closer to this state of inertia, and now I retreat to listen to myself and enjoy this atmosphere I am in. It is already past midnight. In this time when I am one with my blanket under the narcotic warmth that takes my body like a captive, now without showing any resistance, while experiencing this moment of warmth. My eye focuses on things on my wooden desk once again and gently slides towards an object, my beautiful, massive brass telescope. As the fire of the fireplace hits the telescope, I feel as if it meets the night and presents a different face, a different state, and a different form of it. Just like me. This tool, which gives me companionship during the days, makes me feel like a lens that provides my understanding of everything and allows me to see a different face of the universe every time I look. When I bring my hands slowly over this telescope, the setting of this machine, its observation of the universe, being one with it, and this desire to understand everything, attempting to make sense of both myself and my surroundings was a never-ending journey of discovery for me, so to speak. However, now when I look back and think about it, I realize that I have neglected some things. For example, what a waste it was not to live the moment I am in and not to stay alone with myself. Because just as understanding everything in the universe is a necessity, there are some things a person needs to understand in their own mind, body, and soul as well. As I realize these, I can understand a little more that I am human, that I need to have a space of my own, and I even observe it, and the effort to attribute meaning to everything around me without making sense of myself was nothing, an example of arrogance. Because understanding others or attributing meaning to other things without understanding oneself brings about thinking as if there is no deficiency in oneself. And this was very wrong for me. I realize this now. And I pass in front of this telescope and look at myself and realize a little that the thing that needs to be discovered is me. My connection with the outside is cut off a little more, and I look at myself from the outside as if with a foreign eye. Even though understanding the universe is a beautiful event, I must discover myself as a part of the universe I live in, at least for tonight. And as I do this, it is if I can find a little of myself in everything around me. And I realize that I shouldn't be in such a hurry for the meaning of everything outside. Now it is time to close the telescope with this leather cover. While doing this, the soot smell of the room, the heat of the outside, and the feeling of fatigue brought by the years combine, and I feel this. The uneasiness brought by not being able to agree with the church and against them is a problem in itself. The truth will reveal itself sooner or later, and I am already striving for this as much as I can. Time will sooner or later meet with itself and show whatever is right. When this happens, humanity will find beauty against difficulties a little more, and will attain peace a little more, just like the peace I experience in the moment I am here tonight. With the peace of knowing all this, my breaths are more regular now, and I am light as a feather. The secrets of the universe will sooner or later harmoniously align with people beautifully. Even if I don't strive for the rotation of the universe we live in tonight, they will continue their beauties in their own orbits. That is why I leave them to their own loneliness tonight. My body now surrenders a little more to the warmth and peace. There is no stiff vein left in my body anymore, so I can now bury myself thoroughly into my armchair without showing any resistance. I approach the soft side of the armchair, my back resting, and sit peacefully under the blanket. I stop looking at the sky. I stop fearing the darkness brought by the outside. I only focus on listening to this sound that nature offers me. Now I only breathe, and with great gratitude and peace from all the blessings of the night, I stretch out a little more on the armchair and enjoy it. My body, having completely adapted to this flawless, absolute numbness that almost puts the brain suspension, my suddenly focusing gaze lands on a thick, heavy philosophy book resting on my lap, which has remained open all day and whose pages have started to wear out from me constantly looking at it again and again and again, those dense, tiring letters carefully written with black manuscript ink on the pages. As I look at the flickering fire of the fireplace, as the night thickens a bit more, the writings become a bit more blurry in my eyes, mixing together, and I feel as if these lines are losing their meaning. I can look at these lines out of the corner of my eye, and I realize that those heavy lines where I feel the exhausting nature of state administration, of reason and logic, and of never-ending philosophical questions, catch my eye again. At this hour of the night, I realize how meaningless what is written here feels, how beautiful it feels to move away from the sharp and judgmental attitudes and information of the mind during the day and approach the compassionate and warm focus of inertia and resting instead. When I slowly lift one of these books from its place, I take one of its yellowed, thick, and worn-edged rough pages into my hand without any rush. And as I slowly turn its worn pages to transition to the other pages, I realize how tiring that light, dry, and dusty sound the paper makes while turning feels. And it merges with the crackle coming from the fire of the room and the sound of the wind coming from outside, fading into the air. At this hour of the night, there is hardly any time worth reading or spending to learn, and there remains only the comfort brought by taking the peaceful ones among the thoughts to oneself. And now this book is also closed and put away. That deep, muffled, heavy, and definitive sound it makes while the cover is closing, this sound is not just the closing of a book. It is the most definitive, most comforting herald that a whole day has ended, that all the heavy matters of the kingdom, all the tiring political responsibilities of Prussia, the armies, generals, and philosophers are sealed under this cover, in the pitch black, inert darkness of this library until tomorrow. My eyes catch my wooden flute resting on the desk right next to the book, and the long-dried quill pen just beyond it. No notes, no melodies will come out of my flute tonight. My quill will write no state edicts, no military orders, no laws anymore. I leave them where they are, on that silent, lifeless, polished wooden desk, compassionately to their own lifeless and unfeeling inertia. I gently take the book from my lap with all its weight and slowly place it on that small, carved wooden coffee table right next to me. I pull my hands back into the protective warmth of that heavy, hot wool cloak on me, toward my lap. The moment the physical and mental weight of the book lifts off my lap, such a massive imperial burden, such a huge lead weight lifts from my shoulders, from my neck, from my rib cage, that my breathing immediately changes, deepens, calms down, and becomes incredibly light, like cotton, mardy completely, without any objection, by releasing all its muscles, bows to that massive, indisputable, merciful and all-pulling force of gravity. I don't have to rule anywhere. I don't have to solve any philosophical problem. I don't have to command any army. I don't have to protect any border. Prussia, I say to myself with a wordless, tired, exhausted, but equally grateful and peaceful smile, in the middle of this merciless storm, on this dark night, can perfectly survive without me. Just to stop, just to sit in this coarse wooden chair, just to breathe that cool air and slowly turn into stone inside this warm, golden yellow, amber-colored room, to completely blend into the darkness and that bottomless, absolute inertia. My eyelids now close completely, without objection. My will succumbs to gravity and to that massive, freezing, and compassionate weight of sleep. Toward that flawless, dark, and merciful ocean of inertia, I sink without showing any resistance, without feeling any regret, any deficiency, softly, slowly, and with very great peace. I no longer want to give orders to any of my limbs, to any of my muscles, or to move them. The huge oak logs that have been heating this library for hours in the fireplace, cornering those dark, midnight blue shadows, have come to the end of the day, to the end of their own shifts, just like me. The flames have completely abandoned their old, wild, and ambitious dance. They have left their place solely to those warm, compassionate, and golden yellow embers that slowly collapse into themselves, preparing to hide under the grey ashes little by little. To that dark amber-coloured inertia, I take one last look at my wooden flute on my desk, my leather-bound heavy philosophy books, my quill pen whose tip has long dried, with my heavy, half-closed eyes, softly, without feeling any desire. If it were daytime, a single melody coming out of that flute, or a single line read from that thick book would be enough to spin the never-stopping, all-planning cogs of my mind again. But now, accompanied by the howling of that merciless Prussian storm that angrily batters the massive windows of Sanssouci Palace outside, and shakes the glasses, those items on the desk have no weight, no meaning, no urgency left. That's enough for today, I say to myself, with a wordless, tired, but extremely grateful smile. All the never-ending matters of Prussia, the noisy training sounds of the armies, the constantly changing maps of Europe, all of them can perfectly stay outside that thick, impassable oak door, until tomorrow, in the freezing snows. I take my right hand out of the warmth of that thick, heavy wool cloak covering me, very slowly, without rushing at all, and reach for the long, cold iron tongs standing by the edge of the fireplace. With a very slow, calm movement and not enough to stop time, I softly push those grey, soft ashes onto those glowing crimson embers that still maintain their heat. I safely cover the fire, just as I covered my mind, as I shut down my thoughts. As the ashes cover the embers, that golden yellow light inside the room also begins to fade slowly, softly, and that protective, compassionate midnight blue darkness in the corners closes over me softly, like a soft blanket. At my feet, on that thick Persian rug, the rib cages of my elegant hounds sleeping soundly rise and fall in the exact same rhythm with the century-old, hypnotic tick-tocks in the room, harboring no fear. Their deep, unshakable, and safe sleep slows down the flow of blood through the veins in my neck too. My eyelids, I have no reason, no will left to command them, to keep them open. I completely, without any objection, bow to that massive, indisputable, and merciful force of gravity. I don't have to rule anything. I don't have to make any decisions. I just want to stop, breathe, and slowly turn into stone within this sheltered warmth, this absolute inertia. Toward that bottomless, dreamless, absolute, trust-filled dark ocean, I sink without showing any resistance, without feeling any regret, with great peace and softly.
That stone-walled, warm, and old paper-scented library, right in the heart of that freezing snowstorm in Potsdam, is now completely dark. That massive mind, which had sworn to carry the burden of all Europe, the state matters of a huge Prussia on its shoulders, trying to manage everything, to set rules for everything, has indisputably surrendered to gravity and to that absolute, compassionate inertia of the night. His tiring shift is over. The fire of the fireplace was softly covered with ashes. Those never-stopping thoughts, the melodies of that flute, those heavy philosophy books have completely fallen silent. That merciless storm outside has now become merely the loyal guardian of a deep and dreamless sleep. And now, it is completely your turn. You allow it too. Allow your body and your thoughts to gently become one with that massive, protective darkness of this night, to sink into your bed that is as soft as that plush armchair. Your day is over. You did everything you needed to do today. Just like that tired monarch, you two ran non-stop all day in those crowded, noisy rooms of your own mind. You tried to solve things, to do everything completely and flawlessly, to plan tomorrow's problems from today to complete those never-ending tasks. But remember, Even Frederick the Great left his huge kingdom outside that thick oak door and slept. Your unfinished business, the things you couldn't achieve, those meaningless, heavy, and tiring expectations weighing on your shoulders. They all remained outside this night, outside this warm room. Right now, in this bed, in this protective darkness, you don't have to fix anything. You don't have to plan anything. Shouldering others' troubles, making flawless plans for tomorrow is not your duty. Your only duty right now is just to stop. To embrace the endless compassion of inertia, its freezing comfort. The time has come to pull the plug on that tiring, mechanical machine in your mind that talks non-stop, constantly plans tomorrow, judges the mistakes of the past. Softly drop those invisible, lead weights on your shoulders, that rigid tension in your neck into the bed. Completely stop resisting that compassionate, indisputable, and merciful force of gravity. Allow your body to surrender to gravity without objection, just like the hounds sleeping by that fireplace, to completely sink into the soft texture of the bed. You are safe. You are enough. You deserve to rest to the fullest. We are completely silencing all the feelings of guilt of today, that cruel inner voice saying, I should have done that too right here in this inert second. Let time flow independently of you, outside of you. You don't need to hold on to anything. Your eyelids have now grown heavy enough not to be able to open again. Your eyelashes are now sealed together for sleep. Your mind is slowly and safely gliding towards the very bottom of the bottomless, compassionate ocean. Everything is all right now. The storm stayed outside. It cannot reach you. You are inside in the warmth and safe. You can sleep now. You can only surrender to this sleep, to dreams, and to your own self. Goodbye.